For the first time all month, we have ourselves a guide that doesn't send us to the deep, dark depths of the Down Under. For today, we cover the Shadow Pieces boss fight, and it may even happen to be my favorite one in all of Don't Starve history. If you've never known how to start it, why you must do it, or heck, maybe even it's a fight you've never heard of, you're gonna want to start by locating one of these in your own world. This is the marble sculpture set piece, and every world has one. However, we have some work to do. For you see, mining some of these statues reveals their true forms, and that big blob of rock gets turned into a familiar looking pile of junk now, doesn't it? Mine another, and appears you got yourself a sculpture of something with an elonged neck. And I think we all know of a mechanical beast that can boast such a feature. And there's no mistake in number 3, minded to discover what must be the beginnings of yet another depiction of our mechanical friends. But the sculptures themselves are still done broken, so we still need to do some heavy lifting, literally. Have you ever wondered about the true purpose of these pieces of suspicious marble? Well, all this time you hadn't known that they play a huge part in starting this boss fight. But there's a problem. I wasn't joking about the heavy lifting part. Upon picking these pieces up, your maximum speed is reduced by 85%. In other words, you either have a darn near debilitating scoliosis diagnosis, or you're a grandma. Or both. And to make matters worse, they can spawn literally anywhere in your world, so I can't even give you an idea of where to start looking. Seriously, just look at this one. Spawn not 50 feet from my ultimate destination, while this rook piece here spawned in the birch biome, which happens to be miles away from our particular sculpture spawn location. But there is relief. More than one of each individual marble piece does spawn, so there's that. But here's a tip for you folks not planning on doing this fight as soon as possible. Traps! Make one and place it down near whichever piece you find, as upon looking at the map later, you'll be able to locate them without struggling to roam around looking as you have since forgotten where one was. But tip number 2. Beefalo. Find one, stuff its face with whatever munchies you can, saddle it up, and head out looking for them pieces. Because here's the best part. If you are carrying one of them, but then you hop on the back of your furry steed, you no longer suffer from that speed penalty and can zoom your way back to the sculpture set piece without having to spend your days at the chiropractor. So, you found all 3 pieces. Now what? Well, now it's repair time. Grab the corresponding marble piece and repair each individual statue to its former glory, truly revealing our old rivals, the Rook, the Knight, and the Bishop. Good work, but that can't really be it, right? There's gotta be more to starting this fight than just finding dang marble. You're right, there is. And we must wait for a very special night to see it happen. But that night isn't actually a full moon, sadly. For even though the sculptures are moving, upon mining them, you'll just reveal a normal knight, a normal mechanical rook, and a normal clockwork bishop, respectfully. And even though that's a unique mechanic, it isn't actually what we're after. However, the figure sketches that you will obtain will be coming in handy regardless. Because you can then take those sketches to a potter's wheel in order to create your very own knight, rook, and bishop figures capable of being brought and placed anywhere, including perhaps your very own arena for the fights. And that leads to the discussion of what we will actually need for the fight. And the short answer is speed. I think it's fair to assume that by the time most of you are tackling this fight, you'd have been through or you're in the midst of winter, so a walking cane would be in your possession. Or perhaps you prefer head armor, so then you go for the ancient crafting route with the mag luminescence. Whatever the case, speed boosts from any source, including character-based ones, will be tremendously helpful in this fight. Get you some. A Hambat or better, no question. This fight has some tough and beefy cookies to deal with, so a weapon of no durability and high enough damage is golden. That being said, if damage is your thing, then conjure up the dark magic for them dark swords. But the thing is, the bosses we'll be facing down do have negative sanity auras, so be very mindful of going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But as I said, high health and very notable damage is coming your way, so you best be prepared to counter it. Of course, in solo you'll need more than otherwise mentioned, but you'll still need great numbers of the usual log suits, or a pretty big handful of the stronger ancient armors like Thulsite suits and crowns. You will be using darn near everything you got for this, trust me. The huge applies to your heals too. Dragon pies, pierogies, or whatever floats your boat when it comes to your health. But perhaps you should consider managing your sanity with some cacti, mush, or jerky too. And again, you'll need more if you're soloing this puppy. And even though it's not desperately needed, a Starcaller staff can certainly brighten things up during the early stages of the fight. So I'd say, get you one. Alright, if you've been wondering what we've been waiting for, it's actually not our preparation. It's the moon. We must play through the moon cycle in order to reach a new moon, because only then can our fight take place. A complete moon cycle takes 16 days to finish out, and then it repeats. So if you miss a new moon night, you gotta wait for the next one. But with pickaxe in hand and a new moon in full swing, Mina Sculpture and the fight is on. Shadow creatures based on the Clockwork Knight, the Clockwork Rook, and the Clockwork Bishop will spawn, and none of them work the same as their counterparts. Well, except for the Knight. And in fact, the Knight will actually be the first one we defeat this time. Careful though, this fight is unique. Very unique. Kill one, and the others will instantly level up. You will note a significant health increase for those remaining, while also coming to understand why I said speed was your ally, and why decking yourself out in a lot of armor was the proper strategy here. Shadow Rooks will teleport directly on top of you, wherever you happen to be, and attempt to melee you quickly after. Shadow Bishops turn into bats and swarm the player, damaging them for as long as they remain close. Both attacks, even just at level 2, are real pains to avoid, but it is possible. And you will come to see that after they attempt their attacks, they do kind of just like to sit around for a short while. This is your time to deal massive amounts of uncountered damage, so stay vigilant. Soon, you'll kill another, and whoever remains will level up to level 3. In this case, it's our Shadow Rook friend that will look to eat our face off. His attacks are the same, but more frequent and nearly impossible to avoid without even more speed. But obtain more speed, and you'll discover just how easy these fights can be, as you'll know when the hits are coming and be able to dodge them with absolute ease. But I wish to show you the other variants of this fight too, so head to your own arena and actually hammer one of the statues this time, spawning our shadowy friends. Only this time I will focus on killing the Bishop first, which will level the Rook and the Knight to level 2 obviously, and then I will kill the Rook next to face down a level 3 Knight. Now, a level 3 Knight is absolutely horrifying. With a decent chunk of health and a damage output of 150, this guy is no joke. And his range is, dare I say, unfair. Kiteable? Certainly, as one can dodge his attacks if timed right. But oh boy, this version of the fight is arguably the hardest one around. So go for it if you want a challenge. I will say, I forgot to bait out his swings a couple times before I went in to strike, so just do that, please? Don't be a bearded idiot like me. But the last version of the fight comes with us fighting the level 3 Shadow Bishop. And it's the easiest one by far. Not only does the Bishop have the least amount of health when compared to the other level 3s, it also deals the least amount of damage by a long shot. All you gotta do is run away from the bat swarm and then smack the crap out of the thing as it just sits there every time, menacingly. Really, you are gonna have no problem killing this one. So, after all this, what's our prize? Well, each level 3 will drop 4 to 6 nightmare fuel for you, a set of knight armor, a dark sword, but this as well, the Shadow Atrium, aka the Black Heart. We will dive deep into the purpose of the Black Heart once we return to the ruins for our final caves guide, so just leave it be for now. But there you have it, everyone, a guide on the Shadow Peace boss fight, and the many forms that it comes in, its unique mechanics, feel, and terrifyingly difficult nature places it at the top of my favorite boss fights in the game. But there is but one which remains. We have the Ancient Key. We have just obtained the Shadow Atrium, and I think it's time to seal the darkness away once and for all as we face down the Ancient Fuel Weaver. Thanks for watching, folks, and thank you so much for watching nearly every single caves guide we've done this month. I appreciate it, and it's all coming to an end. For now, I am done. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.